Yo, what's up guys? There's a topic I do want to address, which is the RTA current meta. And this might come over as a whining, complaining, bitching video. That is not my intention. My intention is that I'm still very passionate about this game. I'm very enthusiastic about this game. I very much like this game. But there are a few key factors that make it very much unenjoyable for me to play. I've been talking to other people and they kind of say the same thing. It is in current state not enjoyable to play. So with my passion for this game, I'm making this video in hope that things might go for the better. Probably nothing changes based on this video, but I hope it reaches the right person at some point, or people start talking about it at some point, that it might reaches the right person that actually can do something about it, and they will actually start doing something about it. Because in the current state, people are walking away, people are not enjoying it, people are simply playing less, and the suggestion is, if you don't like RTA, just simply don't play it. Well, if the suggestion is simply don't play, why would you play in the first place? So yeah, that is this video. Once again, might come over as a whining, complaining, bitching video. It's not the intention for it. It is for me just trying to see what are the pain points, where does it go wrong, what can they do to improve it, because of course those kind of points I'd also like to address. And hopefully this reaches something where it just makes things better, because currently it's just really darn bad and annoying and frustrating. Today a topic that I've been struggling with for a bit and I wanted to make a video on for a bit longer. Recently I've been trying to play towards getting my RTA that I am G3. It went really bad for a few days, and that's also why I mentioned before I am not going to be streaming RTA anymore, because it's just simply not fun. It's super tilting, it's very annoying, and the best thing to do when RTA just goes bad is take a break, which on stream is a little bit more difficult to do, unless you just really don't care about your points. And towards the end of the season, I do care about my points. So would I do anything fun around the start of the season? Maybe, but to be honest, I have not been having that much fun in RTA, and I will be showcasing you one match in particular. Sorry, Dance, I gotta call you out on this one. And then I'll also be explaining what is the issue with the current meta and why the current meta is so much worse than previous metas. I've been talking to a whole bunch of top players out there, and I'll just hide this for a second so you can see the screen. I've been talking to a whole bunch of top players out there, and everyone is kind of saying the same thing. The meta feels very sacky, way more than it feels sacky normally. And there's a few particular reasons for it, and I will go into those reasons. I will also go into, of course, I'm not going to be just sitting here complaining as like, oh, this bad, that bad. I also will give the solutions out there. But there are a bunch of things. We got a reset over there. Can happen. Doesn't happen too often, but can happen. That's okay. So that's the thing. Also over here, double resistance over there. Did activate, but sure thing. Then we can reset it over there. Never mind. So yeah, that kind of shit. And that's in the end an Oliver that's normally somewhat consistent. I have seen Okeanos S2. It's supposed to be consistent. Missed 2 times in a row. Well, the skills 2 times, but missing it, the skill 2 times in a row. So 4 times in a row. The odds of that are as big as like getting an LD5 from 1 scroll, or well, yeah, 0.05 something percent. No, wait, that's even way less because it's 0.35. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. But the thing is like, oh, another reset. It's just, well, yeah, one of those things. Like, sure, the resistance out there is definitely a thing. It's definitely a factor. And these kind of matches, they happen from time to time. But the big issue is that a lot of these units out there, which are really meta, are very activation dependent. Like, for example, the Shiho skill 3, 25% chance 6 times. I have seen this multiple times not land any. What are the odds of not landing any? It's about like 13%. I've even seen this thing, talking about lower odds, Shiho skill 3 on a Sierra not critting, glancing 6 times in a row. While 6 times coin flip of 50-50 is a 1.5 chance. But what is my main issue with this? This over here, meta unit. 25%. Well, let's actually take the tier list that Obabo and me made earlier. So let's put that here on the bottom right. Let's go through all of the units and let's talk about their activation rates. So first of all, we have the Twin Angels over here. On the skill over here, we have a 50% chance. I have seen this thing hit 0. I have seen this thing where enemies are glanced and they do it while there is still Vio and it lands everything. Like, the gap between being very lucky and very unlucky is just getting insanely big, while every unit has like a 50 or 60% activation check. Going on next, Gianna, it became too OP on 100%. So how do we nerf it? We make the 100 to an 85. So we don't necessarily make it worse in a lucky or unlucky state. Well, we make it worse in an unlucky state. We make it better, like the same in a lucky state. And that is kind of the thing. That is not really truly balancing the game. That is just like, oh, something is too OP. Let's just tune down the activation rate and make it inconsistent and freaking fucking annoying to play. And then that makes that work. It's like, yeah, is that really a way to balance your game? First of all, would be really easy. Make things not that OP if they're 100% activation. Sure, you still have the resistance check in there. Totally fine. It's in the game, whatever. I don't like it, but sure, keep that shit in there. But keep that fucking shit hidden where it's like, oh, let's make a unit like half activation. Next one, Shiho, skill 2. 75 activation. I've seen this thing not activate 4 times in a row. And you're like, oh, I'm gonna cycle turns on this. Like, no, you get nothing because you just didn't activate. It's just so stupid. If we go to Miying as well, it's also one of those units. Very dependent on it proccing, because if it procs, it pretty much immediately kills. If it doesn't at all. But also the armor break rate on this dude is a 50 check. I have a Tian Leng, it's pretty much the same 50 check, 3 times a 50 check. It's a very big difference if you land that all the way at the early start of your rotation or all the way at the end of your rotation. Plus, I've seen it multiple times where you proc on this thing and you have a 6 times and you never landed it in the first place. So yeah, there's too many activation checks which are half-based activation checks. Talking about Okeano, sure, you improved this. I really like that. These are one of the better buffs I've seen out there. I did just say it's like, okay, the activation still didn't activate double, so that's a 1.5% or like 2.25% chance or something out there of that. Yeah, that's stupid. That happened to me twice in one match. That's really fucking dumb, though. But this, 3 to 5 hits with a 35% chance. Brother, if you get 5, and man, that's just, okay, in the end, it does go up by to 50, but a 3 on a 50 or a 5 on a 50, that is a world of difference. With the additional damage artifacts, 3 to 5 is a world of difference. Just make this stupid shit 4. There's absolutely no reason to make this a 3 to 5. It's like, oh yeah, sometimes it's incredibly good, and sometimes it's fucking shit. Like, what is the point in that? I don't get it. Let's move on to the next one. Tian Leng, we also do have that one over here. Activation rates on this one over here. Okay, 25% chance to stun. Goes up to another 40, so it could either stun your whole team or nothing at all, but most of the time it's either all or nothing, and it always feels kind of bad. Skill 1, mentioned that already before. Inconsistent. Worst unit in game. Okay, I would maybe give worst unit in game ever towards Manon. I'm very happy that we don't have a Manon meta anymore, because I was actually talking to a few other players and we're like, what was the worst meta we ever had? And actually the Manon meta in combination with a Molly was arguably the worst meta we ever had. Let me know in the comments as well. Now I'll ask you that in the video as well. What is the most fun meta you've ever played in, and what is the worst meta you've ever played in? I would really like to hear your guys' feedback on that. And maybe one of the next few videos, I'm gonna do a meta tier list. So which meta was like the worst and which meta was like the best. I'm very curious about that. But then again, this unit is legit one of the highest win rate units, picked about 25 to 30% of the time, and it is the biggest sack of shit unit in the game. Activation rates on this, okay, this one does have a full activation rate. This one doesn't have a full activation rate. Feels like it stuns all the time. Plus, if they proc out of the passive, you get back into the passive. Actually, Miyang does the same thing. But it's insanely freaky sacky. It's such a sacky, stupid unit. And that just becomes very heavy on the meta. Why is it very heavy on the meta? Well, everything is stunning at certain odds, and everything is despair, and everything is chances, and everything is that she just simply becomes that good. Like, by all means, do I say things like, oh, no, you should put back the Gianna to 100%? No, to be honest, make the Gianna back to a 0%. That's what I'm asking. Like, either do it all the way or don't do it at all, but don't do this half-baked nonsense. That's the main thing that I'm just frustrated about. That makes the meta very frustrating. That's why people do not like to play at the moment. Let's see if we see how long the best list is currently for replays. Is it that bad? Okay, it's currently not that bad. Like, we have 20-ish matches in 7 minutes. It's definitely not as much. This used to be like 3-4 minutes most of the time. But if you check in the evening, this was about like 20 minutes. I've seen 25 minutes. That just simply shows that people do not really like playing this at the moment, because every match, as you can see, is a Josephine in there. No Josephine, but Fire Megumi, another sacky unit that no one likes. These in there, okay. Do we see another Josephine? Another Megumi? Like, there's just a lot of these units that just are so meta depending, where you just get so much annoyance out of these kind of units where it's just not fun to play against. It's not fun to play with. And might you give the arguments like, oh, it's fun if you sack on someone? Legitimately, if I sack on someone, I don't feel good. If I win a match and I got sacked on, I still don't feel good. If I have a normal RNG match and I win that one, I do feel good. If I lose a normal RNG match, still probably not the best of feeling, but at least I'm like, okay, I got outplayed, I got outdrafted, I got out anything. But if you lose a match, but that's also a thing. I was actually talking to another friend of mine. I kind of crashed out on him. Sorry for that once again. But the thing is, in his opinion, he won in draft. But in my opinion, I got lost to 0-3 procs. And that is kind of the thing that adds in a lot of frustration. Like, sure, I would have probably lost that draft. Probably. Even if it was 0-0 or 3-3. I would have probably lost that draft. Sure. But the thing is, you lose, and then you also get the 0 out of 3, and that is just super frustrating on the Vio procs as well. But that's also kind of the thing. How about you flip the script? What if I had 3 procs and he had 0? I would have won with that worst draft. It's just kind of stupid. Like, to be honest, really reduce the amount of RNG in the game. And I think the current meta and what they've currently been balancing, and we can definitely open up a book about the balancing has been absolutely terrible. And the thing is, the units that they're really enforcing and the units that are really making strong at the moment are all units by chance. Like, in the end, Laura, sure, definitely not her favorable meta right now, but it's still one of those units. If she goes ham on the cycle, on the skill 1, into a skill 3, onto a skill 1 again because of Vio, and then that kind of nonsense, like, it doesn't make any sense. Same thing with the Megumi. This thing didn't have to get buffed in the first place. It was not needed to have this thing. If you proc every turn, you can stun something every turn. But why? There's too many examples at top units in the meta right now. Like, looking at all of the units at the top, I would say that there's a very few amount of units which I would claim is like, yo, this is consistent, this is fun, this makes sense, this is actually something that, like, you can depend on. It's like, oh, I'm supposed to land stuff. It is 100% activation. Cool. Probably will land, maybe will not land. Vio will happen, Vio will not happen. But it's just, in my opinion, so goddamn frustrating to play right now, where it just makes it for me, I want to play as little matches as possible. And with me, a whole bunch of other players as well. And sure, I might definitely be maybe talking to the people within my own bubble and they only have like the same ideas and whatnot. But I also would like to ask you guys, like the rest of the community that's watching me, but also maybe you talk to other people. What do you feel about the current state of the RTA meta? Because I feel like it's just so bad. It's so much RNG. I've seen people like legit first picking Miles Angela, and you're like, well, it's not even bad. Why? It's just passive nonsense that makes anything good. You go for a Shiho, that kind of stuff. It's good. Like, I like units to be added into the game as an Irene. Irene, as the moment she lands, she really does something. She's really strong. Sure, she has that annoying factor if she doesn't land. But at least if she lands something, you know what you can depend on. You know that she's going to have a 100% check to actually do things. She's good in the things that she's supposed to. Sure, she doesn't land. She doesn't land. But it's not that thing is like, okay, we first have to go through a resistance check, but wait, first the activation check. Let me first do the activation check of I don't know what. Just to make a lot of more nonsense on top of nonsense. And that's just kind of the thing. And also all of those units that are just too toxic, people don't really like. And that is, once again, we have talked about it before, add in a pre-ban in RTA. No one really cares too much about, like, sure, people go for legend tournaments, sure, people qualify in SWC, sure, people get their first G3, G2, whatever. But if you have a pre-ban in RTA, you could say it's like, hey, I really hate playing against Josephine. I want to pre-ban that shitty unit all the time, and therefore I or you have more enjoyment in playing RTA. Would make a lot of sense, right? Or let's say that you just simply, you're playing a certain comp and every Leo would be so bad to play against. You just simply pre-ban it. But then we're not talking in the pre-ban, it's like, oh, you see the match and then you snipe the person or you check on the second device, like, oh, what was he playing? Let me pre-ban that. No. You have a button over here. You select what you want to pre-ban and then you hit the queue up. And that is the thing that we would like to see. So whatever you pre-ban is pre-ban against anyone you would play, and they have the same thing vice versa. Doesn't make you waste any time, doesn't give you a chance to be sniped by anything, doesn't allow people to have the chance for wasting like 30 seconds of your, or 60 seconds of your time, or snipe you by like a third-party website that actually checks whatever the hell you're using. That will be fair for everyone, but I think it just adds a lot more enjoyment to the game in the first place. Same as like RTA has been the same system for I don't know how long. We have Special Leagues to try to kind of try something new, but do you know that in Special League, the moment you're on a winning streak, you actually get a +1 extra point? They tried to implement that, or they had it as a test for implementation for maybe adding that in here. You know when they added that shit? They added that shit back in 2018. That is how long they added that stuff. Was it 2018? No. Maybe not 20. No, it could have been 2018 when they added that. It has been a test for 7 years? What is happening, Com2us? What are you guys doing at the development office? Because, to be honest, I have no clue what you guys have been doing, because I always like to do a video when there is an update. I saw this update, which for some reason on the Steam client I still cannot showcase in here because whatever. But this update was legit about nothing. You even made a dev preview video about nothing. Or like not a video, a dev preview notice about absolutely nothing. Like that's kind of the thing where you have like this info lunch at your work, and there people are asking us like, oh, who wants to present their work? And you're like, me, pick me. And you work in some kind of IT office, and then it's like, oh yeah, sure, say you can share what you want to share this time. And then you go there and you show like a bunch of Teletubbies mining in Minecraft and that kind of shit. And the whole lunchroom is like, say, are you actually doing any fucking thing here at work? It's like, yeah, look at the Teletubbies. I'm like, no one asked for this shit. Like, that is the kind of feeling that I had with the previous few patches. Sure, they have a bunch of nice quality of life things, but there's nothing really added to the game. There's nothing, like, the RTA pre-ban. Try something new. We have seen it in different games that if you have a draft, whatever you lock in the third spot cannot be banned afterwards. So then you actually have like a new dynamic to the game. Sure, you might try it out for a season or in Special League or whatever. Always going to be the OP unit locked in there, but they can do that, so can you. And that is kind of the thing. Try something new, add something new to the game. To be honest, for me, I really liked it when they added in artifacts. Try something new, add something to the game. But then if artifacts is too difficult to explain it, actually give fucking explanations in the game. If I go here and I go this and I go this, like, oh, yeah, deals damage according to his defense. I don't know by how much defense. I don't know by how much attack. I have no clue what it's all about. It's just a wall of text. And I would like to have a button over here that shows me how much. I would like to have an explanation if there's an artifact. Why were people quitting over artifacts? It's like, because what the hell is first skill crit damage? I want a tooltip over here that explains first skill crit damage is every turn that you take on all of the units, including AoE, blah, blah, blah. And then it would also be like, oh, what is crit damage less? If there's less HP on the enemy, you deal more crit damage. And it's a gouge by if they're 0% HP, you deal 12% extra. And if they're at 50, you would deal 6. Like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Or additional damage by HP is like, oh, this is over your whole HP and added extra flat ignore defense kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, makes sense. Why do we have to figure out all of that? Because sure, you can add new things, but if half of the stuff that you add new is unexplained and that kind of stuff, that is where your people walk away. That is why a lot of people in lower ranks still do not have proper artifacts, because they simply don't understand, because not everyone is a sweat that watches a bunch of videos. Thank you all for being here, by the way. But not everyone is actually a tryhard and is actually looking up all of the data and that kind of stuff. And sure, we do. We love that kind of stuff. But make it accessible in the game. Try to do something new. Try to add actually quality of lives in there. Sure, there's been a decent amount of quality of lives. I can still name you at least 20 quality of lives, which I would think are way better than the recent one added in there, especially with the one that was recently added in there. But then back to the original topic. RTA meta is in the worst state I have seen it in a very long time. It's super sacky, it's super annoying, there's not too much fun to it. Everything is based on a lot of chances on top of chances on top of chances. It's not just a resistance check, no. It's a resistance check, violence is unbalanced, despair that's added a lot more is very unbalanced, because this thing, you could go for a skill 3 and you could either stun the whole team or stun absolutely no one, and in between, whatever happens. There's just too many chances and too many inconsistencies and too much nonsense, and therefore people are not enjoying your game, Com2us. That is just a simple fact. I'm not enjoying it. I was talking to Sean B earlier. Sean B has the exact same feeling of like, I just don't enjoy playing RTA on stream. It's just not fun. It's the same units. Like, sure, we have a shift in meta. Sure, you could say it's like, oh, the Chandra Velachul Cigar meta is gone. At least these units were consistent in whatever the freak they were doing. Now you added a bunch of new units that is like, oh, let's say half activation check on this. Let's even make this a 30% activation check that never really works unless it's used against you. At least that's how it feels like. All of these units that are meta right now are just half activation checked bunches of nonsense. And no one is enjoying that. Make units that are consistent to what they're supposed to do. People can depend on those units and not be like, oh, I have like an insane draft. My Gianna's gonna move, I'm gonna strip everything, then I'm gonna push back everything with like whatever unit, and then it's gonna make work, and sure, I have my whole draft settled out, and your Gianna misses 2 out of 3, and yeah, GG. Fun. Like, no, not fun at all. I'm not enjoying this at all. And to be honest, I don't want to be rude, but the people that are more on the lucky receiving end will probably enjoy this season a lot more. And those will be the people that say, it's like, no, for me, the season is totally fine. I feel it's balanced. Like, yeah, if you're more often on the luck receiving end, you definitely probably feel it's more balanced because it's more favorable for you. And there's definitely a lot of people out there that are not that lucky and do not have that favoring factor in there, and they're not enjoying it as much. And less, I'm maybe the only person out there that kind of feels like that, plus the people that I talk to, which are actually a whole bunch of people that are all saying, it's like, yeah, I rather play as little wings as possible because that's just the enjoyable factor. And also the best argument that people give you is like, if you say, I get really tilted and annoyed by playing RTA, is the option of don't play. Like, yeah, but if you don't play, what's the point? You might as well completely quit the game, right? Like, if the point is that the game is that tilting, that the suggestion is do not play, that doesn't make too much sense. Well, I think I yapped and rambled on long enough, guys. Thanks a lot for watching for this one. I definitely do want to say that I don't want to be as like, oh, it's all shit, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm still enthusiastic about this game. I still think they have a very good game. They have been running for 11 years, and I want to make this game run for longer than that. The only issue is that whatever they're doing right now is not working. It's making people leave. It's making people quit. It's not making people enjoy the game. And I've heard that from many occasions where people are just simply saying, like, this is not fun, and I stop enjoying it. And that is the thing that I would like to see prevented. And that is why I'm making this video. I'm not making this video to point fingers at people. Well, no, actually, I am pointing fingers at people. Start doing something to actually make the game better, to make it more enjoyable. Because me, the community, everyone likes playing your game if it is actually fun. We have invested a lot of time, money, and effort and whatever in this game, because in the original state, it is a lot of fun. We have enjoyment out of a lot of things, upgrading accounts, playing RTAs, doing Siege, talking to the community, that kind of stuff. We do, in general sense, enjoy that. But there's a bunch of factors that have been neglected for years and years that have never been actually properly addressed of like, is an RNG balance between one account to another? No, because you always know, like, we have this second shit event. Oh, no, I'm going to ramble on a little bit longer. We have this absolute second shit event that's only the people like that are only getting the quad speeds. I had a guildie of mine be is like, oh shit, I only got a 27 quad. Why not a 30? It's like, yeah, that was his 4th or 5th quad from this event on speed. Must be nice having that kind of RNG. Don't tell me that, like, everyone has too many examples of RNG from one account to the other being absolutely unfair. I know people that go like 1,000 LDs dry. Why? There's people that do 100 LDs and they have 5 units. Why? I can honestly say I'm on average RNG. I can be happy by the point that I'm pretty much on average RNG for I need about like 200, 300, like 250 to 350 LDs to pull an LD5, and that has kind of been my average ever since I've been tracking it. That is fine. But there's a lot of people that do 1,000 and there's a lot of people that do 100, and because of that, the big sense it averages out. But that is just simply not fair, and that is not enjoyable for people. And yeah, those are just the things in RTA the same. You see people with crazy luck always. Why are there certain people that are always called the biggest luck suckers on the planet? Is it their draft? Is it their skill? Is it their runes? Or is it just Com2us that cannot properly code anything towards RNG? And I actually think it's the latter one on that one. But yeah, then again, it's very hard to prove from my side on because I'm just one player. Maybe with a superstition on that. Maybe with a certain bias on that. But let me ask them the answer. Let them show me that it's actually fair and sound and solid. Because, to be honest, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. And I have addressed this topic for many years already. I've also already in the past made a bunch of videos on this. I even made a tool to determine whether who's going to be more lucky or unlucky in an RTA match. That tool no longer works because they were hiding a bunch of packages in the SWEX. Yeah, is what it is. Can't really do much about it. But yeah, I hope that this video reaches Com2us. And once again, I'm just doing this because I'm passionate about the game. I'm just doing this because I do want to make the game feel better, play better for everyone. I don't, like, to be honest, I would love to be back as an SWC player. But since RNG is that shit, it's that much frustrating to prepare for a whole year and then go to stage and be like, your Gianna landed absolutely nothing. Well, GG's kind sir, that was that. Try again next year. I had that a few too many times. I got all of the shirts here on the background to prove that. And yeah, it's just what it is, man. I'm just definitely not enjoying that. And yeah, I just hope they make it for the better and maybe you see me back as a player because I've been pulling good units. Absolutely. Can't complain about that. I've been pulling very good units. But the moment that you pull a very good unit and they just simply don't activate, you get heavy procced on and that kind of stuff, that doesn't matter what you pull. It doesn't matter what you draft. It doesn't matter what your rune quality is. You are going to lose if RNG is heavily favoring against you. Sure, if you have all of that stuff, you might still win certain RNG heavy matches. Sure, out there, 100%. But on the highest stage, everyone has like crazy shit. Everyone has like crazy runes. Everyone's crazy units. Everyone's crazy good in drafting. And if you then just get RNG on, you get RNG on, and that's the end of the game. So yeah. Once again, guys, let me know in the comments what you think about this whole topic. Also, maybe for your future video, let me know what was the most fun meta that you played and what was the worst meta that you played in. Maybe I'll make a poll out of that, and based on that poll, I'll do like a tier list what my opinion is, and then also what your guys' opinion is. What is the worst meta ever? What was the most fun meta ever? But for that, I would first need like your guys' ideas of saying like, okay, this was a meta I did or did not enjoy, so I would add that into the list. Well, guys, that's a long talk for me. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. And see you as always in the next one.
Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.